So here we can see now, if we take off that vanity panel off the top of the chassis, you can see the push rod coming up here from the wheel, and that connects to a couple of rockers. So they pivot about this axis here, this where this circular hole is, and there's actually a torsion bar spring going through that. But you'll see on a Formula One car, it has a rocker either side, and the idea is that rocker then transfers the motion of the push rod into, in this case, we have a spring across the two rockers. We call this a heave spring, and this spring is actually made up of lots of Belleville washers. The reason we do that is that we can then shape the curve of the spring very precisely. And at Red Bull, we have, and other teams have lots of options of Belleville stacks, if you like, or different springing curves to get the correct characteristic from the car. So, and as I said, you're trying to get this push rod up as high as possible. So you can see these components are actually sticking outside of the chassis. To get the best geometry, we've pushed them out, and then we cover them with a panel. And we've compromised the design of the chassis by bringing it down a little bit lower to get the suspension geometry as good as possible. Actually helps the mechanics change the components on the car if they need to. You can just see a roll damper poking through. That connects between the two rockers, so it goes on the above the axis of one of the rockers and then comes down to below the axis of the other rocker. So that roll damper will only act in roll. But essentially here you see the complete design of the car is based around this front suspension. They've redesigned the chassis around it to fit in the components that they need with the best geometry to try and keep the loads into the push rod down.